quick update on the Afp'S acquisitions under its modernization program as of November 2018. Last weekend, local media outlet Business Mirror released an article covering updates on several ongoing and incoming acquisition projects under the Afp'S modernization program. All of those projects mentioned were already discussed by Max Defense in previous blogs or Facebook posts and comments over the year or two, and we decided to discuss those mentioned projects further to allow for greater understanding for readers. This is also a quick way of updating our readers with the status of these projects, considering many are still pending or have not yet even been started. Here are our take on the projects mentioned by Business Mirror, as mentioned according to the order of the article. Max Defense also provided links to previous Max Defense discussions on the topics for reference. 1. Unmanned aerial vehicles are being acquired by both the Philippine Air Force (PAF) and Philippine Army (PA). The PAF project under the Horizon 2 phase involves the acquisition of Hermes 450 and Hermes 900 medium-altitude long-endurance unmanned aerial systems, which is scheduled for delivery between late 2018 and early 2020. The PAUAS project is still in the pre-procurement stage and will be a G2G project, most likely with Israel as well. 2. PAF's acquisition of long-range patrol aircraft (LRPA) involves 2 units, not 1 as reported. It is actually a project under the Horizon 1 phase and is still in the pre-procurement phase after several failed biddings in the last 4 years. The PAF's 300th Air Intelligence and Security Wing is expected to be the operator of these aircraft. 3. PN's acquisition of 2 new corvettes and 6 offshore patrol vessels under the Horizon 2 phase have been discussed thoroughly in Max Defense FB posts and blogs. Both are still in the pre-procurement stage, although it appears that the DND is already leaning on Hostile Philippines to supply the OPVs. Max Defense was also told by sources that Hyundai Heavy Industries is leading the pack with regards to supplying the corvettes, despite both projects not yet finalized by the Navy's TWG. Both ship types are to be operated by the Navy's Offshore Combat Force. 4. The delivery of 6 close air support aircraft are indeed coming in by December 2019 as per the contract between the DND and Embraer SA of Brazil, with the A29B Super Tucano being supplied. This project contract was only signed late last year, and has been in several Max Defense blogs and discussions since 2013. The PAF's 15th Strike Wing is expected to operate these aircraft and replace old SF-26OTP aircraft, not the OV-10 Bronco as everyone expected. 5. The acquisition of Sidewinder short-range IR air-to-air missiles, specifically the AIM-9L I-1 variant from Diehl Defense Raytheon of Germany, is part of the Afp'S lift munitions acquisition project under the Horizon 1 phase, and is indeed coming in by July 2019. These will arm the FA-50 light combat aircraft as well as future multi-role fighters of the 5th Fighter Wing. 6. The aborted combat utility helicopter acquisition project awarded to Bell Helicopter Textron Canada was originally part of the second list of Horizon 1, but was pushed to Horizon 2 due to the delays on the project after the hullabaloo between the Philippines and Canadian governments. It would be noted that CGPAF Lieutenant Gen. Galileo Quintanar previously confirmed that they shortlisted the Bell 412 EPI from Bell USA, Sikorsky Black Hawk Russian helicopters MiL-171, and Leonardo helicopters AW139M. Max Defense also got confirmation that the Kaiku-1 Syrian is still in the running as well. Max Defense expects the decision to be made before year-end as there is an urgent need for the immediate delivery of these helicopters. 7. It appears that the Philippine Navy's leadership is still hell-bent on getting the submarine acquisition program to be implemented within Horizon 2 phase, but it's still a big question mark on where they will be getting the funds for it. The current silence on the project appears to be temporary as the Navy focuses on the acquisition of offshore patrol vessels. 8. For attack helicopters for the PAF, the current default is for the acquisition of 24 units of armed light helicopters. Although the PAF opened the option to acquire more expensive purpose-built attack helicopters in the same category as the Thai T-129 ATAK and the Bell AH-1Z Viper, but with limited quantity as the budget remains the same. It remains to be seen though if the PAF and DND will continue with pursuing armed light helicopters, considering the need for quantity than quality to meet current operational requirements. The PAF's 15th Strike Wing will operate these helicopters. 9. The FA-50 alternate mission equipment is a Horizon 2 project. Although Max Defense prefers to not discussing this project for now due to request by our sources in the PAF. In a nutshell, it involves acquiring equipment for the FA-50 fleet to allow additional mission capabilities. This will be for the PAF's 5th Fighter Wing. 10. The Command and Control Fixed-Wing Aircraft project actually involves the acquisition of 2 aircraft, not one as reported by Business Mirror. One would be based on a turboprop aircraft, which was awarded last month to CASA Airbus for their C-295 medium-lift aircraft, and the other using a jet-powered aircraft, which is yet to be awarded. These aircraft acquisitions are under the Horizon 2 phase of the RAF PMP, and are intended to replace the old Fokker fleet flown by the 250th Presidential Airlift Wing. And by the way, the C-295 is not a helicopter. 11. The Philippine Army has several projects pertaining to armored vehicles, so the description made by Business Mirror is confusing. But it appears that what the report was describing is not an Army project but is actually a joint project of the Philippine Navy, Marines, and the Philippine Air Force to upgrade their fleet of V-150 Commando armored vehicles. Project involves mobility upgrade for 11 volts minus 150s, as well as upgrades on the turrets on more than 20 volts minus 150s from both services. The PAF's 710th Special Operations Wing operate a few V-150 Commando armored vehicles for base defense, while the V-150 is among the standard armored vehicles of the Marines. 12. The Navy's acquisition of a 4th batch of multipurpose attack crafts, MPAC, involves for 3 missile-equipped attack boats based on the MPAC Mk 3 for the Navy's littoral combat force. The projects are actually divided into multiple lots and are combinations of second list of Horizon 1 and Horizon 2 funded projects, with the boats itself funded by second list of Horizon 1. While the weapon systems and the mission essential equipment with ILS are to be funded under the Horizon 2 phase. The MPAC boats and mission essential equipment were awarded to the joint venture of PropMech Corp. and Lung Teh Shipbuilding of Taiwan, while the weapon systems are to be acquired separately, and is expected to be G2G with Israel, with Rafael Advanced Systems supplying the Spiker missile and Mini Typhoon RCWS-13. The AFP General Headquarters acquisition of directional UAV jammers, anti-drone systems for the Presidential Security Group is intended for protection against surveillance drones, or even suicide drones that may target VVIPs, especially during public events where the President or other VVIPs are attending. 9 sets 18 units were to be acquired with a budget of PHP 33.75 million. And is expected to be made by a Chinese manufacturer. The PSG already operates similar but shorter range equipment, and these new acquisitions are intended to further improve the PSG's capabilities. 14. The Indian-made force protection equipment as described in the report are actually made by MKU Limited. This project is actually an RA 7898 AFPMP project involving the acquisition of 44,080 units of FPE body armor that was originally awarded to Colorado shipyards. MKU took over the contract last year after Colorado shipyards failed to deliver, and is still in the process of delivering them. 15. The U.S.-made 60mm mortars are actually acquired under the old RA7898 AFPMP program, originally for 60 units, but was reduced to 44 or 22 units. Depending on the agreement after price escalations over the years, these are to be acquired from the U.S. government via Foreign Military Sales (FMS) program. This is actually an example on how slow the U.S. FMS process is in acquiring weapons, as this project has been undelivered since the contract was signed a few years ago. 16. The ongoing project involving armored vehicles within the Philippine Army's Mechanized Infantry Division is the M113 Firepower Upgrade Project. A second list of Horizon 1 project awarded to Elbit Systems Land and C4I of Israel, which involves installing RCWS to 44 of the MID's M113A2, and the conversion of 5 of the MID's M113A2 to armored mortar carriers and installed with the Solheim Cardam 81mm mortar system. Max Defense sources confirmed that the full delivery will be completed next year. 17. The acquisition of 3 air defense and surveillance radars for the PAF were made in the Horizon 1 phase of the RAF-PMP, with at least 1 unit already delivered by ELTA Systems of Israel, and the other one coming in before year-end. ELTA delivered the LM-2288AD Star extended range radars and will be equipping the PAF's 580th Aircraft Control and Warning Wing to replace old radars and improve the ability to see air activities within the country's airspace. 18. The full-motion flight simulators were ordered from Environmental Tectonics of the U.S., which will train pilots on C-130, Bell 412 and AW-109E aircraft. This is part of the Horizon 1 phase of the RAF-PMP and was signed in 2016. Originally it was supposed to arrive last May 2018, but it appears that delivery encountered delays. The PAF's Air Education and Training Command will operate these flight simulators and improve the training curriculum of pilots for the above-mentioned types of aircraft. 19. The basing for search and rescue air assets in Palawan and Tawi-Tawi are part of the old RA7898 AFPMP program, and Max Defense believes that these are already completed. Meanwhile, the basing for the long-range patrol aircraft in Batangas, Palawan and Zamboanga, the radar basing facilities in Ilocos Norte, Palawan, and Lubang Island, and the fighter basing in Pampanga and Palawan are all under the Horizon 1 phase of the RAF-PMP. The recent reopening of Basa Air Base is part of this project, although the fighter basing in Palawan is still ongoing. Apparently, all the radar basing facilities are still ongoing despite one of the radar stations already operational. 20. The Marine Forces Imagery and Targeting Support System (MITSS) were already delivered to the Philippine Marines in November 2017, and were supplied by Triton Communications using a system based on the British Super Swiper 2 UAV. This project is part of the Horizon 1 phase of RAF-PMP, and allows the Marines to use UAVs to provide targeting information for their artillery and infantry units. 21. The acquisition of 2 anti-submarine helicopters are also part of the Horizon 1 phase of the RAF-PMP and was awarded to Leonardo Helicopters in 2016. Leonardo will deliver the AW-159 Wildcat ASW helicopter, which they scheduled to deliver by March 2019 after a 6-month delay. These helicopters are the first ASW air assets of the Philippine Navy, and will be operated by the Naval Air Group from the new frigates being constructed for the Philippine Navy by HHI. They will be armed with torpedoes, short-range anti-ship missiles, and is equipped with acoustic dipping sonar. 22. The Philippine Navy's C-4ISTAR equipment, which is essentially the acquisition of 5 WVHF handheld radios from Harris Corporation USA, is a PHP $300 million project that allows the Philippine Navy, specifically its Special Operations Units and the Philippine Marines ground units, to communicate effectively using newer tactical radios to replace old ones, or increase the use to more troops. This project is part of the Horizon 1 phase and delivery is still being processed. 23. The Philippine Navy also ordered 8 amphibious assault vehicles from South Korea's Hanwha Techwin, which won the tender for the AAV acquisition project in 2015. Hanwha will supply their KAAV, which is a licensed copy of BAE Systems AAV-7A1. Max Defense believes that the first batch would be delivered to the PN before year-end, as the Philippine Marines has started training on the type as early as a few weeks ago. Source: Max Defense.